repairs of grooming season would be like a pretty decent amount. But we've already spent like $17,000 on groomer repairs this year. And so it's to the point now where it's like running the money through the county in like more of like a live action, fast paced scene when it's needed is kind of impossible. So it's just a matter of being really good friends with the state and being like, hey, can you take care of our bills directly? Like, remember, this is your machinery.
Right.
I'm just managing the pot.
Right.
And so the state's been awesome to work with.
Oh, good.
I wanted to let you know when
Really haven't had
when we
any
have
problems,
a
but
comment
yeah.
that comes up in a
Just at
public
the
meeting,
Priest
but
Lake
they give
meeting
us
on
an
Friday.
email answer.
And the
I
state
like that,
confirmed
have
that we're
them
number
say
one seat
what
for
the answer
replacement,
was,
and
like
then
on the
actually,
painting, so that it's on
the minute
on
we
the
get our front
meeting
diff
itself.
replaced, so we're
Because
taking our
sometimes people
groomer
are
into the
streaming,
shop.
and so
in
then
Priest
they're getting
River.
an update versus us
And
just
then
getting
the
an
state
answer
is
to a
bringing up our
question
new
asked in
front
the
diff from
meeting.
Coeur d'Alene.
Because the question about
Tucker
the quality
already
of the
shipped it out
paint,
of
the
Oregon
community
to the
had an
state
interest
down
in
there.
as
So
well.
we're both
And so
meeting in the
that,
middle,
so it's
getting it
not,
fixed.
I'm not,
We're gonna
I'm
store
knowing
it
that it's
in our shop
wanting just
until
wanting
the
them
state
to
gets the
say,
paperwork done, and then we're gonna
Okay.
deliver it back to Tucker, and then Tucker's gonna trade it in for a new one. So it's like, I mean, it's way past due, because typically they're swapping those things out every 2,000 hours, which is pretty ridiculous for, you know, a $300,000 piece of machinery.
That's
to have to
pretty
swap
low
it.
hours.
But the flip side too is like, it's such a specific job in like a tough environment where it's just like the wear and tear of it is just accelerated. Like right now, we're already 800 hours overdue. Is like, we've already gone past like 30% beyond what we should have ever gotten to begin with. So it's like, we're doing well, but like, this is exactly why you switch your Tuckers out every 2,000 hours. Is like, not that you should have to, but in the real world, this is what needs to happen. And like getting the state on board with that as well. So now they're on board with it.
Right.
It's just they ask for so much documentation, and it's like, until you can, without a doubt, explain to them why they need to help you by the program that they make you administer. You know, it's kind of one of those funny situations.
okay, are we ready?
Do we know if Bill's planning to be?
I hope Bill's here, because he's gonna be a big part of what we're talking about.
I was hoping for him to be on as well.
But I didn't know how long he's on vacation for either. I remember last
He
week.
is back from vacation.
Okay.
That's a concern because he is supposed to be part of this. So, can we reach out to Bill? I don't know how the two of you feel, but if Bill isn't participating, this would have to be redone, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's mostly on him, I think.
Yeah, my questions are essentially all legal related, so.
Well, that was like my big thing. It's like, I'm happy to do the footwork, but this is like, just utility permits is a little bit out of my wheelhouse. Like, other than like, just that the permit goes through IDL, and like, I work with IDL pretty hands-on. Like, other than that, it's like, it's above my pay grade, so.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's primarily just a question of legal structure and liability.
Yeah, and they have it in there. Laclede Water District will be responsible for construction activities associated with installation of the water intake line, as well as required maintenance activities in the future. But like,
But that's not a binding contract
Well-
or a permit. That doesn't
exactly. So-
really address, to my understanding.
And like, I'm assuming y'all would have to sign something with Laclede Water District and with Bill and with the contractors, like setting up something where when they pull that vault out of the center of that parking lot, if that starts to sinkhole or whatever, because that's what I was talking with Rob about it, and I was like, well, what do you see some of the issues being? And he goes, really, he's just making sure that they can stuff that thing where as it settles out, it doesn't create a big hole and, just.
So I think there's the technical side, and then there's just the roles and responsibilities legally.
Yeah.
And how we define that.
Exactly.
With what type of documents,
Right.
So I think those questions that you wanted to get worked out are, in my mind, what we need to figure out is.
Yeah.
And the weird part for me is like, we have a right of way, it's not our property. You would think that the property owner would have to be doing this, not just who has a right of way through there.
I think that's exactly why we need legal to explain who has
It's like, we're not the owner.
authority to,
Well, and like really, the only part that really has anything to deal with me is just that we have a pre-existing encroachment permit with IDL. And like having Matt Mulder here would probably be helpful too, but he was off today. And so it was when the meeting was set, I mean, he doesn't work Mondays, so it is what it is, but,
It's ideal property.
no, it's our right of way, our boat ramp, and it's
So there
running
was
through
no-
our encroachment permit.
There was,
But-
I'm gonna interrupt here. There was no confirmation that Bill could participate with this meeting, so we don't have legal.
Okay.
And so, to me, this needs to be rescheduled for a different date and
Okay.
coordinating. Typically, Monday is a difficult day to get Bill because he's working Boundary County.
Sure.
So, we were trying to see if maybe we could recess it until Wednesday, but we can't confirm with Bill because he's not available for me to recess it.
Yeah.
Are the people online able to hear? So I don't know.
I can hear you.
All right, so we don't have legal available for this workshop. There was no confirmation when this got scheduled, so the commissioner staff is going to reach out and coordinate with you on how to get this workshop scheduled. But without legal, we would have to redo this. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, do you guys have any questions that would be worth asking now and going over so that we can, if we don't have responses, then we can have them prepared for the next meeting?
I don't at this time. Mine are really directed towards council and more of a discussion. What's the position? Because I haven't opened the meeting yet because we were looking for council. So does the board want to open the meeting and ask the questions of the people online, or do you prefer to reschedule with Bill present for the entire event? My recommendation on something like this is to not ask questions, but to have Bill present for the entire thing, because sometimes that dialogue can have him giving us input. So what are your thoughts?
I think my questions are legal questions, so.
Yeah, I'm sure a couple of technical details will come up, but I would imagine that you guys are already capable of answering those questions pretty readily, so I think it's going to be primarily a legal discussion.
Okay.
So I would agree with the chair.
Okay. So what can we go on the record? All right, it is 12:08 and we are here for a workshop. We don't have council present, so we are going to adjourn the meeting and get this rescheduled with council present. So it is 12:08.